Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this episode, I want to showcase the motors because this is a common problem people have that I don't think people realize it. Well, they have it, they realize it as soon as they get on Amazon. They can see all these motors. They have no idea which size fits what and what purpose each one has, or I'm going to clarify that real quick in this episode against each type of brushless motor you would find in any of the toys that you might be taking apart and modifying. So first, of course, the smallest size you would always find is in the X mod or most of these other new bright toys is this 130 size motor. I guess they measure the 130 based off the length. I don't know where they get the 130 from, but to me, it's a Series 100 type motor. And for a Series 1 type motor, kind of brushless motor, you're going to want something super unique, like this Mini Z motor. This particular one's a 4100 kV motor. You should be able to withstand every average car that you might stick it into. It took me a hot minute to get a hold of this, but I acquired it. It goes with a 18 amp ESC, or if you wanted to, you could put it on a 25 amp ESC, and it should work just as fine. I'm going to showcase that here in a later episode. So the 130 size motor, perfect fit, perfect match for that Kyosho. Next down the line, obviously, is its larger, bigger brother. It's literally the same exact motor, but a little bit bigger. 23.9, let's say 24, and then 18. I mean, for this motor, 24 rounds is what you're going to pay attention to. So, right, 24. This brushless motor is a 2435 4800 kV 25 amp ESC motor and combo ESC combo. This 24 is talking about this reference can, this motor, right? 24 for that, 24 for that. This is the next upsized motor. And then the next motor up, another 24, right? Oh, yeah, it's a tight squeeze. 24.2, okay. We'll get it to them, but 24 is what it's supposed to be. And then finally, the last one, if you have it, you'll notice it has the breatheway for the internal fan to cool it when it gets really hot. It also is a 24 millimeter can. So in reference to these four, you can get yourself a 2435. Now the second number, 2435, 2440, the second number is in reference to how long the motor is, right? So this would technically be I guess this is technically a 30. If I measure here, oh, 31. Either way, that's a short motor, right? 2435 should fit in there. 24, 36, 30, 35. I mean, it's just that longer. Well, let's compare it, right? We got it right here. This how it comes. Two millimeter shaft, 4800 kV, 2435. Measure this jigger out. So yep, 35 long, spot on. in reference to this D, it's the same diameter, but a little bit longer, obviously, right? Now, if you can fit that in there, that's great. This is 2435. There is a 2430 that I ironically don't have here. It's in another car out at the top corner of the shelf, and it that particular motor is a 7200 kV, which is supposed to be higher RPM and less torque. But it's definitely shown that, and I think I should get a lower kV because unless your car's light, it's not going to get up to top speed. Pretty bad. So yes, this can definitely fit the D size type. Can definitely fit this. It's also a 30, looks like. Yep. I don't know what you want to classify that. Weird design. It's got a nub up top or some kind, or whatever you want to call that. This is supposed to be a stronger version of this D, but I think the D is actually better, but that's up for debate. Now, this is actually the nicer 200 series class can. It's definitely longer, right? They're almost the same length together. This is 2435 for sure. That's what the classification is. So if that's the case, that means it includes the end of this motor cap. Interesting. That's that motor. And of course, like I said, the more superior motor, I think I wrote down. What? 14, 18,000 RPMs? Can't tell. Oh, that's a 7.4 volts. And then 20 something thousand at 11. But yes, this can handle 3S 11 volts. No problem. But again, the motor's going to wear down. And this one, I don't think you can open that up and replace the brushes. On this one, you can just lift those tabs on the top and the bottom. Cup comes off. You can replace the tabs that goes onto the motor rotor. But I think they put copper tips on them, so they're supposed to last and take it. But for brushless replacement, 2435 is fine. I have the 2440, which is 5 more millimeters longer than this one, for the high torque applications or RC cars that are just massive in size and just happen to be using a ridiculous size motor like this. That should be able to handle the weight of that car. And then finally, for after you've realized you've gone beyond the 200 series class and you're in this 300 series class RC car, wow, I picked up a lot of stuff quick. You obviously got to step it up. It says 27.5 millimeters. Oh my. But that's this particular, I mean, you might find this in most 16th scale cars. I believe this is what came inside of the that tiny little orange car I've got on my channel. The Ruckus, that's right. Oh my goodness, the Ruckus. So a perfect replacement for that would be this 2838. This is a 3800 kV motor with a 35 amp ESC. However, I immediately noticed when I got this shaft is definitely bigger. than the original shaft. Now, that's not something to be disappointed about. There's clearly RC hobby grade pinions you can buy that'll fit on that no problem. There's a huge assortment range you can find. It was the 2.3 millimeter shaft that's harder to find, including the brushless motor. I found one, I'm ordering it, I hope it gets here, we'll see what happens. And hopefully I can use that for some of these projects that the pinion gear would be just too massive to fit inside of the toy RC's transmission. Oh, making it so impossible to work with. But it's not impossible. We've been working with these. We can get it to work. So yes, that's that replacement regardless of the shaft size. You can work with that. There's options. In fact, I got some here laying around that should fit just fine, right? So I've already got, for my larger Traxxas, that fits on there perfect. Tighten it down. I mean, some situations you may have to flip it, right? Depending on which way. I mean, if you're really not given any option, I mean, I've seen some worst case scenarios like that. But it's workable. This D-slant on the shaft is actually preferable because it's less slip on the shaft when it comes to braking, accelerating, high torque situations. I mean, you're going high speed and you just slam on the brakes. There's a lot of stress that happens here on this pinion. And having the D-type slot shaft is actually preferred. This is just high class right here. So yeah, those are your options. I think for the 2838, there's also a longer one, the 2845. Again, for more torque, in case you got a larger car. Of the 24 ranges, 2430, I think, is the smallest one. I don't think there's a 25 at all. There is another unique motor size. I've got 2040. This motor might actually work as a replacement for this 130 size. Just barely. You might have to work it in to get it to fit. But obviously it's way too long. I mean, this is for some unique application. But I got it on standby. Because like I said, some of these toy RCs just use some interesting motors. So with that, make sure you check your motor diameter, your motor length. I would stay in this 4,000 range of kV, right? 3,800, because like I said, in my other RC car from my earlier video, when I was working on the Ferrari, the 7,200 kV motor was just, I mean, it was powerful, it was fast, if you can get up to top speed. However, it didn't really have enough torque when it was, I mean, when you needed to, I don't know how to describe it, but it just, the demand for power wasn't there at the low end. It was more at the high end. But at that point, I mean, these cars are just not. And another idea too is if you get a lower kV motor, you could technically stick an enormous pinion with some ridiculous large tooth number. Right, this one, I don't know what this one is, but in comparison, you could stick a larger tooth number on there and potentially go way faster in top speed. I don't know about your acceleration, but the lower kV would help with the ratio, the weight ratio of some of these toys. I'm talking in reference of toys versus hobby grade. If you're using it for hobby grade, you got a lightweight car, and you got the tires for it too. They're glued to the rim. Then yes, absolutely go for the 72 or 9,000 or 12 1,000 kV motors available for Mini Z. Those were some of the options I saw, and I was like, wow, that's insane. But so yeah, double check your sizes, double check your links, stick with the middle size KV, and you should be good to go. Oh, and don't go above 2S batteries on most of these motors. I mean, there are ESCs that can handle 3S on these motors, but you're gonna get hot. You might want to get a motor cooler with no fan on there, heat sink, and because it's gonna get hot, and it may even cut out on you after about 10 minutes of riding around on it real hard. Well, anyways, thank you so much for watching my video today. Like, subscribe, share, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.